It doesn't matter if it's just jackfruit and rice paper. For some of the Yellowjackets actors, filming the infamous cannibal scene was almost as horrifying as the events depicted on screen. This video contains spoilers for Yellowjackets. The first season of the survival horror series Yellowjackets became Showtime's second most streamed TV show in the network's history. After Dexter New Blood, it hooked audiences immediately when it dangled its eventual cannibalism as grisly bait during the closing minutes of its premiere episode. However, the show's creators, Ashley Lyle and Bart Nickerson, postponed the actual act until early on in the second season, sucking in millions of viewers with its doomed tale of a girls' soccer team lost in the wilderness after a plane crash. The narrative flips back and forth between the past and present, all the while keeping its influences, such as William Golding's 1954 novel Lord of the Flies, on its sleeve, while also adding potential supernatural elements and a murder mystery. Since Yellowjackets stops just short of exploitation, investing in its character dynamics and developing relationships, when the cannibalizing finally arrives, it's not nearly as graphic as it had the potential to be. But we can still feel sympathy for the cast, who lost their lunches while acting out the scene.
There was some dry heaving, there was some going away and
real vomiting. A couple of people actually did.
Oh,
yeah.
A little too lifelike.
Yeah.
The portion of Yellowjackets focusing on the survival of the titular girls' soccer team begins in 1996, when they board a private flight from New Jersey to take part in a national tournament. The plane crashes in the Canadian wilderness, and the surviving passengers take stock of their situation. With no sign of a rescue party and low on food and water, they discover a nearby lake and a spooky old cabin. The problem is that misfit Misty, played by Sammy Henratty, is finally feeling needed for the first time in her life due to her first aid skills. To that end, she decides to extend their stay by destroying the plane's black box. The rest of the principal characters are gradually established throughout the series. The fiercely driven team captain, Thaisa, played by Jasmine Savoy Brown, Ella Purnell's high school golden girl, Jackie, and her sensible best friend, Sophie Nalise's Shauna, Sophie Thatcher's moody goth Natalie, and her love interest Travis, played by Kevin Alves, the coach's eldest son, along for the ride. Several other minor characters are developed throughout the first season, most crucially being Courtney Eaton's Lottie, a girl struggling with mental health issues spouting off witchy prophecies, which gain more traction as the situation desperately deteriorates.
You see it?
Here? Here. She's saying here.
There's blood where, Lottie? You really have to be encouraging her, Van?
Things come to a head when Jackie sleeps with Travis, and the rest of the girls turn feral when accidentally spiked by magic mushrooms. After a bitter argument with Shauna, Jackie decides to sleep outside as snow starts setting in and freezes to death overnight. An attempt to cremate her goes wrong when a quirk of fate, or a dark supernatural force, results in her corpse being roasted instead of incinerated. Facing starvation, the team surrounds the body and starts tucking in. The creators of Yellowjackets put a lot of thought into how they would present the cannibalism scene, and what it meant for the characters and themes of the show. They reportedly did homework on whether a corpse might actually roast in the way it was depicted. Co-showrunner Jonathan Lisco joked to Vulture, "We're probably all going to get arrested at some point for the research that we do. How do you cook a body?" The cast tried to keep a sense of humor about the scene, but it came as quite a shock when they were confronted with the corpse dummy created by the show's props and arts departments. Lisco explained, "Here's this dummy. She's got the perfect biometric face of Jackie. Then our guy comes over who made the Jackie fruit, which we called it, because it was made of jackfruit, paprika, maple syrup, some smoke flavors, salt, and pepper. As a finishing touch, the crispy skin was made from rice paper that was soaked and dried out in an air fryer. Jackie's innards were designed so even vegan cast members could get in on the feast, with spittoons provided for those who didn't want to swallow the concoction." While Lisco claimed that the dummy tasted good, maybe it was because he didn't have to get in the headspace of a character about to eat one of their friends. As upsetting as the scene is, it could have been much worse. Jasmine Savoy Brown told Pop Sugar that even more graphic footage had been filmed than what was ultimately shown.
Tommy, you ate her face.
While Season 2 got the anticipated cannibalism scene out of the way fairly early, Lisco teased that there are even more taboos coming for the survivors, telling Vulture their choices are going to get more morally ambiguous as the season progresses, and they're going to have to decide who they are and integrate their worst impulses into themselves. Lyle and Nickerson have cited two real influences for their survival horror show: the 1972 Andes flight disaster, when survivors resorted to cannibalism until rescue came, and the tale of the Donner Party, the U.S. pioneers who reportedly turned to cannibalism when they became snowbound in the Sierra Nevada mountains in 1846. Lyle and Nickerson explained to Forbes, "Cannibalism represents the complete deconstruction of society. We all agree there isn't anything more taboo. It's the most extreme distillation of everything that it is to be a human being."
I mean, everything feels out of control. Like I don't know what's gonna happen next. What if
Shona, no.
The horrifying nature of cannibalism has made it its own subgenre, serving as major plot threads in video nasties like 1980's Cannibal Holocaust to the multi-Oscar-winning thriller The Silence of the Lambs. As such, it is perhaps no surprise that Yellowjackets has proven so popular. Brown described acting in the cannibalism scene to Pop Sugar, saying, "People were throwing up, people were retching, someone might have cried. There's really not much you can do. If you're really in character, you're thinking you are eating a human." We're spared a lot of the gory detail, cutting away to a fantasy sequence where the team dines on a lavish banquet. However, as the survivors split into factions and start hunting each other, it's looking possible that this scene is just an appetizer for a more shocking main course to come.